Yeah, well, and also we have people who claim to be on our side who just don't understand the Constitution. I've had people that email and say, when are you going to have the military march on Washington to stop, vaccination of children? As though we have the authority to go do that. The mess, here's the thing, is that we are in a mess because the American people were asleep at the switch for decades. And it's none up to the military and police to fix that. Folks out there are going to have to get off the couch and go out and do it themselves.
Well, we need an asymmetrical approach. If people will just put up flyers everywhere and hand out DVDs and go into every pharmacy and every school with the insert for the vaccine, saying it causes Guillain-Barré, saying it causes brain damage, saying it can sterilize you, saying it can give you cancer, it's on it. If the average person would quit bitching at us for not doing enough, and they would get up off their fat asses, and I'm sorry to talk like that, and get out there and engage the New World Order, our problems will be over very quickly.
That's right. Well, it's already working, though. You've got people now, nurses refusing the shot. You've got people who are refusing it because they realize it's dangerous. And that's because we have the Internet. We have YouTube. We have your show. It's already helping. But you're right. The answer is to get out there and spread the message and help, not to criticize, criticize me for not doing enough, or you. You're right.
But I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, we've tracked their IP addresses and stuff and test. Most of these people are paid. They're working for big foundations, or they're working for the government. The Pentagon admits they're on the web, and they know how to get us fighting. And their best way to operate is to pose as, quote, conspiracy theorist to get us infighting with each other. I mean, it's right out of the COINTELPRO playbook.
I saw a thread on Daily Kos, in fact, where one guy was saying that he was advising other readers there to go to conservative sites and pretend they're a conservative and then talk and then use racist language.
Yeah, no, they do it. They've been caught. Yeah, I mean, you see these ridiculous comments like, yeah, blacks are all scum and filth, and then the person still leaves their handle, and you go find their MySpace account, and it's a black guy. And he's a big Obama supporter. You're absolutely right. They're doing that. How do we counter that? How do we counter that type of deception?
Well, I think sunlight's the best antidote, the best antiseptic. You just expose it, like we're doing right now. And folks shouldn't buy into it. They should look with a jaundiced eye at anybody who's calling for violence. That's how you pick the agent provocateur out. That's the old joke. It's the guy who's trying to get you to do something illegal.
Well, they've caught agent provocateurs in Denver last year and Canada. Mainstream news admits the police go and attack their own police for the news cameras, and then no one goes to jail. Shouldn't the commanders that gave those orders get in big trouble for ordering police to engage in false flag operations?
Well, I think so. I think it's entrapment at the very least, But as we know, it's been watered down. But the lines have been blurred and watered down for so long. We're going to have to try to counteract that bit by bit and officer by officer.
In fact, what the police commanders say when they get caught doing this, from Canada to Australia to the United States, England, you name it, Italy, they got caught in Greece this year. I'm sure you probably saw those newscasts where mainstream news admitted the police were dressed up as anarchists being ordered by police in alleyways. It was caught on video in uniform to go bash out windows of cars and businesses to demonize the mainline protesters. And the police said, oh, that was just a drill. And so now when they go attack other cops on camera for the news cameras so they can attack the peaceful crowd, they go, oh, that was just a drill. That was just an exercise. Right.
Well, I think the best thing you can do is that when you have that happen in a local police department, it's time for a new chief of police. And if the mayor won't do that, then it's time to get rid of the mayor of the town. Time to let him out of office. And it's also time to elect a good sheriff too. So that's the best short-term remedy, aside from reaching out to individual officers, is to, if you have a corrupt official who's not complying with the Constitution, you need to vote them out of office or have them canned.
Obama was this great savior. He was invincible. He was going to save the earth. And it doesn't matter if they make him head of the United Nations Security Council. It doesn't matter if they give him all these awards to be the Nobel Peace Prize winner. it seems the whole world is starting to really get wise that Obama's a fraud.
Well, it's like with the G20. You know, that's where you saw the puppet masters coming together. And, you know, frankly, everyone that protested at 9/12 in D.C. Should have been at G20, because that's who's really pulling the strings. You know, but instead they went to the puppets. So it's going to take, you know, a little bit of time to wake people up. And, of course, we're running out of time. But the more they understand, it doesn't make a difference who's in office. That what counts is what agenda they're pushing. If they're pushing the same agenda, it doesn't make a difference.
But
so
you notice at the D.C. event, there wasn't as much security. But when the real masters came into town in Pittsburgh, it was off the charts. In fact, that was an earlier question I had for you that I forgot to get back to after the break, Stewart. Did you see the videos of people dressed in Army uniforms grabbing protesters off the street and putting them in cars and driving away? And then,
yes.
And then later the G20 came out and said those were our private security people?
Well, they said they were part of that multi-jurisdictional security force. I believe those were police officers.
Yeah, G20 said they were part of their private security force. But so they're secret police. I mean, what do you think that was about? Well, I mean, what was it about to just grab the guy off the street like that? Intimidation is one point. If you black bag someone off the street, it makes everybody else on the street go, "Oh, wow, I shouldn't be out here," you know. So, but again, I was in D.C. for the 9/12 protest, and the contrast between that and G20 is striking. Of course, one problem is you have rock throwing, you know, so-called anarchists at the G20, and that causes trouble for the other protesters. But the answer, of course, for the police is to arrest the rock throwers, not to pepper spray and sound cannon everybody. Exactly. You got 10 foundation-funded brats out there throwing rocks. You go arrest them, not the 2,000 peaceful people. But the cops know that. Those guys work for them.